What's going on? This is Coach Marcus for Pro Fan Talk. Got a question for you. What would happen if someone just gave you $1 million? Would you turn it down because it came in 20s? Sometimes, and I'm basing this strictly on my experience with some quote unquote fans of the WNBA or certain players, you know how it's going. I'm sure you've had the same experience. And it seems like people just get upset if it doesn't go the way they want it to go. If Caitlin Clark plays phenomenal, there's always an excuse for it. If Angel Reese goes off and puts the team on her back, there's an excuse for it. And there's this narrative or this sentiment that I see with people that are watching the game, and they are just like me. They are rookie fans. I make that crystal clear. I am a rookie WNBA fan. And I've said this many times before because of what I saw in the NCAA tournament the last 2 years. Yes, because of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and that whole thing. That was the catalyst for me. But a lot of people now, they think that, Angel Reese had her moment. And if they don't start treating Caitlin Clark right, she's just going to leave, close the door behind her. Because somebody made a comment, Caitlin Clark opened the door for all of these people, for Angel Reese and everybody else. And my comment was, who cares who opens the door as long as it's open? It doesn't manifest the way that a lot of people want it to, but so what? And one of the things I wanted to get into, really the purpose of this video, is looking at these stats right here. I'm looking at A'ja Wilson last year. A'ja Wilson is without a doubt the best player in the WNBA currently. Point, period, end of paragraph. Last year, she led all All-Star votes, 35,000. This year, she's leading all All-Star votes with 217,000 plus. And not too far behind her is Caitlin Clark. And to me, that is what the Caitlin Clark effect is. I know everybody's been using this phrase ad nauseum. A rising tide raises all boats. This is exactly what it means. A'ja Wilson is still considered the best in the business. All of the people that came when Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Cameron Brink, all the people that came that have experienced a piece of this Caitlin Clark effect, this is how everybody else benefits from it. You mean to tell me 217,000 fans who may or may not have existed last year? You mean to tell me all of them people just all of a sudden just decided to vote this year because of Caitlin Clark? I'm not buying that, because now watching the WNBA is in vogue. Celebrities are coming to the games. NFL players, NBA players, actors, the whole nine. Everybody's coming to the game. So everybody is finally getting a piece of what this is all about. And I thought it was interesting how after all of the shade talk, with Cheryl Swoops and everything, she gets that moment with Angel Reese. And the first thing I thought of was like, is that Angel Reese giving Cheryl Swoops a get out of jail free card? Some of the shady stuff that she said about both of them, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. But the main thing is, if you just look at the all-star voting, where are all of these fans coming from? And I use that example of Michael Jordan when he made the movie Space Jam. People forget that all of the other people that was in that movie, Muggsy Bogues, Larry Johnson, Charles Barkley, all them other people was in that movie, and they benefited from that movie as well. And the point was, Caitlin Clark, she can't get all the endorsements. She's not going to get all of the deals. She ain't going to win all of the games. And slowly but surely, it took a little bit of time, but now Angel Reese has come on the map. And here's where you're going to see the difference. When they go on this break, All-Star break, Olympic break, when they get done with that and they come back, watch the numbers for the viewership for everybody else. I don't think it's still going to be as high as Indiana's, because where Caitlin Clark goes, people are going to follow, period. But watch what everybody else does. Watch Chicago when they don't play Indiana. Chicago, Indiana's number one. Now, the game yesterday may have eclipsed that. I haven't seen any of the ratings yet. But then you got Indiana, New York, Connecticut, Indiana, Chicago, Indiana. That was the first game. Chicago, Indiana was the second game. And I would imagine the game from the other night is going to be number one. You look at May 18th, Los Angeles at Las Vegas. 1.34 million people. Slowly but surely, they climbing the ladder. And it's only going to get better because now it's going mainstream. For the first time in a long time, you got people talking about the WNBA, and it ain't talking about culture wars and gender stuff, and they're not going into the isms. All they talking about is how Angel Reese put the team on her back and won that game in the fourth quarter. And that's what they should be talking about. All they talking about is NaLyssa Smith and Angel Reese going back and forth talking smack. Finally realizing that the rivalry isn't Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. And you got to go by positions. Yes, they're going to go at it the next time they play. But don't forget, if it wasn't for Angel Reese, they would have lost that game. If it wasn't for Kennedy Carter, they would have lost that game. Indiana had the game won for 3 quarters, but you got to play 4. But now everybody's talking about it. It's in the mainstream. So now the next time they play, it's going to be must-see TV. So everybody else is finally getting that boost up from the Caitlin Clark effect. That's exactly what the viewership needed. That's exactly what the W needed. They needed a game. Everybody showed up. I did a video yesterday, and I'm talking about how Angel Reese took NaLyssa Smith to the woodshed in that game. NaLyssa Smith still had a good game. She just couldn't stop Angel Reese. Everybody showed up. Kelsey Mitchell showed up. Caitlin Clark showed up. Camila Cardoso showed up. Angel Reese showed up. Kennedy Carter showed up. Everybody showed up. It went down to the wire, and the best team won on that night. And that's what you want. So now the momentum, the wave has spread out. And I remember saying this shortly after the draft. I was commenting on what the WNBA did not do after they didn't show the Chicago's first game and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, you can't put all your eggs in one basket when you got so many baskets. Now everybody's getting a turn. And now, based on the numbers, now everybody's recognizing the star players. 5 and 6 times the number of votes that you had the previous year. Where did that come from? So don't diss it just because it came from Caitlin Clark. Or if you don't want to say it all came from her, then let's just agree to disagree. But let's just understand that she's a big part of the picture. She's a big part of the push. It is what it is. You've seen the ratings. When she plays, it jumps up. When she doesn't play, not so much. But now, after this game, everybody else's, the viewership is going to slowly start climbing. And at the end of the day, it's all about what the viewers want to see. You got another bona fide star, not that she already wasn't, but now people are starting to pay attention. People are starting to pay attention to A'ja Wilson. Who cares who opens the door? You went from 35,000, now you almost at 218,000 votes in a year. What's the difference? Look at the common denominator. Don't fight it, accept it, and everybody's going to get paid because of it.